how is the real estate industry changing? Because the number one thing is just being aware of it. If you're not aware of it, like it's kind of like it just blindsides you. But if you're aware that there are certain changes happening in the real estate industry, I think it puts you in a better position to be able to make better decisions as well too. How would you say the real estate industry is changing?
Yeah, a few ways. So the first way that it's changing is that consumers are taking more and more control of the process because of their access to information via the internet. So buyers took control of the buy side of the business a long time ago once they had access to data. And now what you're starting to see happen is sellers are taking control of the sales side, where they're going online before they call me and you. They're bumping into platforms. Those platforms are giving out that lead, and now we're paying referral fees on it. And what I'm seeing from some of the top agents that I coach that earn over $1 million a year, and in my business as well, that 20 to 30% of the business is now becoming that. So what that means is that we have to sell more homes in order to make the same amount of money because the net's being compressed. Now, over the last, I'd say 24 months, that's been kind of masked a little bit by the marketplace rising so much. At the same time, that doesn't change the fundamental reality of what's happening. And because of that, when we used to have databases and there was a rule that said like 10%, if you service your database, you'll get 10% of your business from that. I think as time progresses, that's going to continue to go down. It'll be more like 6 or 7% because people they'll go online and then they'll bump into some place and then it'll come back to you and there'll be a referral fee attached. So I think the way that consumers' behavior is being augmented by technology. They're going on to this first before they do anything. They're checking online reviews, they're checking videos, they're checking websites to make decisions because that's the way technology is training them, augmenting behavior. And then I think the other thing that's true is that because of the change that technology is having on behavior, agents are having to understand technology way more than they did before. And you're seeing that, right? You see that like kind of chasm between that generation that's like, oh, I don't do tech, and they're all afraid of it. And the younger generation, or those that are adopters, they may not be young, but they like understand the importance and they figure it out, that they realize that like CRMs are really important. Like, having automatic, text messages and automatic bomb videos and emails are very important. That, tracking, things on a regular basis is very, very important. So I think these changes are good in that they're forcing us to get better as individuals. But I think what's going to happen is that the age of the individual agent who does 5-10 deals a year, that's going to go by and is independent by themselves, is going to go by the wayside because they're not going to be able to compete. They can't keep up with the speed that consumers are demanding. They can't keep up with kind of delivering the service, how fast, people's expectations are. So I think in the future, there'll either be teams who do high volume, or there'll be people who work for them. I mean, that's how I see that kind of playing out. And with the net being compressed, which is what's happening, on very large teams, they're running 20% profit margins. So then the game, 20, 25, maybe 30. So the game becomes ridiculous volume, right? It becomes like crazy amount of deals, 500, 600, 700 deals. And it also becomes vertical integration. So you see ownership of title companies, ownership of mortgage companies, ownership of, all of these ancillary services to try to make up for the compression in net. So that's like legitimate real time happening right now. So as an individual agent, I need to be able to see that and position myself accordingly.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this short segment of the podcast. If you're interested in watching another short segment, click here. If you're interested in watching the entire podcast or the entire interview, click here. Thank you so much and make it a great day.